As promised, I want to introduce you to today's guest and a guy who has Moorhead hockey flowing through his blood, Clay Dietrich. Good morning, Clay. How are you, sir?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm quite well, thanks. What's your history with Moorhead hockey? Because I have a feeling that you are part Spud at this point.
Well, I moved over to Moorhead when I was 23. I started at Moorhead Fire, and you had to live in the city limits. So I came to the city a little later in life. But I had a son who was playing hockey, and so I coached for Moorhead youth hockey for 5 years. And then they wanted to build a new arena. And so the arena that was currently in the news, I was the co-project chair for that and spent about 3 years of my life getting that thing put together. And then I was on their board for 3 years to get it up and running. And so about 11 years of my time was spent getting things done for Moorhead youth hockey.
Are you here to sell raffle tickets today, Clay?
No, I don't have any, but...
Okay, good, because I was going to create a woohoo moment again. But yeah, anyways, Clay, not only have you been passionate about Moorhead hockey, and you've served in the Moorhead Fire Department for how many years did you serve?
I was there a little bit short of 27 years.
Oh my gosh. On top of that, you have been building some incredible houses in the community. When did you start? What have you done? Because if you know high-end, really fancy schmancy places, you know one of Clay's places.
Yeah, I actually started in the construction business as a freshman in high school.
Okay.
So I've been doing it all my life. I did it while I was at the fire hall also, because that job is a 10-day a month, 24-hour shift thing, so you got a lot of time on your hands. But my brother started the first Dietrich construction company in 1977.
Okay.
Worked with him for years, and we did new homes and remodels and all kinds of different things. Starting out, working out of the back of a station wagon was our first tool rig.
The back of a station wagon definitely shows that you were just getting started.
Yeah, and that was an old used one too. So it was, the early days were thin, and you worked hard. And then in 1992, we started Dietrich Homes as a separate company from Dietrich Construction. Okay. Because the two companies are growing, and the rest
really,
is kind of history.
You're focusing on different things, right, Clay? Dietrich Construction is, was it more commercial grade?
It's more commercial. They do, today they do a lot of multifamily, commercial buildings, commercial remodeling. They don't go into single family or that type of residential at all. And they work with me some on doing some of our excavating and different things. I work with them on helping design their multifamily projects. Sure. And so Brent and I still work together, although he has two boys in his company and I have my son in my company. And so we're kind of expanding as the kids grow up and get into business.
Well, we had Fetcher's, the new dog place in town, which is your new neighbor, where your office is. They were in studio last week, and they were raving about Dietrich Construction. But you represent the arm of Dietrich Homes, and you've been doing it since '92 now. What makes you stand out, and what makes you different than just any other home builder?
I think for us, it's really that we're a design build firm that takes you from idea to completely done, and we service that customer from top to bottom, and we build that home like we're going to live there. So it's as perfect as we can get it. We try to work with our customers to make sure that home performs exactly the way they want it to. And so it's really a pretty personal thing when you meet someone, meet their family, ask them questions about how do you live, how do you want to use your home, and then try to build something that really works for them well and that they love to come home every day to.
Well, you're in it right now because you're in the process of even building your own lake place, right?
Correct.
And if you ever want somebody to understand what you're going through, I know that when my wife and I did either a remodel on our house or we sold or we bought, we had so much more empathy for our clients, and we were able to walk a mile in their shoes, and that meant that I think we showed up better for them. And you're in that right now. What advice would you give somebody who's considering building a house, whether it be at the lake or in town, whether it's a $200,000 house or a $2 million house? What advice would you give, because you're in it right now?
Well, I think one of the more important things is for them to really do their homework on finding what they want to do and not start building until they've got that plan thoroughly put together, priced out, know exactly where they're headed, so there's no surprises. And I think what happens with that is they end up with a home that they're much happier with. Sure. Because they didn't have to settle, because they weren't under pressure. They got to make all those choices before they were under the gun.
Right. What's your favorite kind of house to build, Clay? Because you've built some massive monstrosities, multi-million-dollar houses, and you've built some smaller, quaint places. What's your favorite gig?
We've built so many different things, so there really isn't a favorite. It's more so taking that home on its piece of land and making it really perform well there. If it's a lake place, if it's got a view, making sure you get that in.
Sure.
And that home just feels like it should be where it's at, and that it looks great.
One of the unique things about Dietrich Homes, and we've had a chance to learn more about it, obviously, in the last few months, we have the privilege of partnering with you now and selling some of your current homes and representing you on the market. And by the way, there are 2 dynamite houses on the market that you have for sale right now. One is a 4-level split. And when people hear 4-level splits, Clay, what decade do they usually jump to?
Well, they usually think 80s and 90s.
Yes, they sure do. And I think that what you've done now is you've taken something that was an idea and you've refreshed it. Tell us more about that house.
Well, what we did with that is we really wanted to take and make it a family home again. And we've seen a lot of people doing ramblers and finishing the whole basement, but there's no view from the basements in this town.
Right.
So we wanted to take a 4-level where all the bedrooms really get to be above grade. They're all looking out on the yard. But we wanted to take it away from that multi-level type of feel. So our main floor's got 14-foot ceilings and big, tall, rock fireplace and a 10-foot tall kitchen and dining. And then we're able to do, a 3-bedroom up, 2-bedroom on the lower level, and then still have the basement to do a bar and a game room and a playroom for everybody. So when you take a home like that, it performs at a really high level, giving you a lot of space, a lot of options, but at a pretty reasonable price because that multi-level helps save money.
Right. Clay Dietrich with Dietrich Homes, and we're talking about his 4-level split house that's on the market right now, listed with Hatch Realty, and we're honored to have this opportunity. I think you hit on something that said that it's reasonably priced. And what people need to know before they hear this price is they need to know that what Clay does is the best of the best. This is not your neighbor's house. This is the one where you're going to drive by or step in and say, holy cow, right? There's big stuff going on. So Clay, this 4-level split home is listed for what price currently?
$698.
Under $700,000, but it's 4 bedrooms, you said?
5 bedrooms.
5 bedrooms. There I go. Massive amounts of space on all 4 levels. Really a special house. And then you have a gem of a house in the Shadow Creek division. Shadow Creek or Shadowwood?
Shadow Creek.
Right. I have to remember what street divides those two. I say it wrong all the time. You have a house on the pond that is such a wow house. Tell us about that, Clay.
Yeah, it's a main floor master 2-story with a full walkout lower level.
Which you can't get like anywhere in town.
Yeah, there's
except
really
for that pond.
There's those 3 ponds and everything's pretty much built there, so there's really nothing left.
Right.
It's a great development. It's really the kind of things you see in Minneapolis or places that have topography or down at the lake. And so we were able to take that home and design it so that every room that needs a view has one of the pond and the great backyard.
Clay.
And, we just try to take those homes and just make sure that each room that you go into feels special. It's got a great view. You love being there. And, those houses are fantastic. We've designed a lot at the lake, so that's kind of what brings us into
It really does have a lake
this.
feel.
It does.
It's the lake in town and listed at $1.3 million. We know it's a pretty penny, and yet if you're a move up buyer or a new to town buyer, there's a great chance that this place could be for you. So, Clay, I'd love for people to learn more about Dietrich Homes. What website should they go to start doing some research?
They should go to dietrichhomes.com. And you'll find both our Dietrich Homes company and our Inspired by Dietrich Homes line, which is what the 4 levels from. And it gives a history of us, what we do, shows a lot of our product, and gets you an opportunity to learn who we are before you give us a call.
And it's spelled Diet Rich, right? The easiest
Correct.
way to, okay, perfect.
Yep.
So go to Dietrich Homes or Diet Rich if you're typing it out. Clay, thanks for the impact you've made on this community for so many years, not only as a product of the community and your investment in kids and the fire department, but now building legacy homes. So thanks so much for what you do.
Thanks for having me in.
You bet. Folks, head to livefargomoorhead.com to check out these houses Clay just talked about. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.